Today I'm going to show you how to plant potatoes. Now if you aren't familiar with how potatoes grow, this is the seed. You just plant a regular potato. A lot of people cut these in half to make more starter potatoes. I just leave mine whole. If you do cut them in half, it's a good idea to let them sit a day or two for the inside to get calloused and hard. That reduces on disease or rot. But the way I grow potatoes, I have 4 different varieties. I try to plant enough potatoes to feed the family throughout the winter, and then to have enough starter potatoes in the garden. This is how I plant these. They're already shooting up, but last year I actually tried an experiment. I tried to plant them just like that and they did just fine. Potatoes are quite hardy. I feel like you can't really go wrong if you plant them shallow, deep, in a bucket, in a mound, whatever. Potatoes are pretty hardy and they grow in various soil conditions. I have Yukon Gold, Pontiac Red, I have Russets, and then I have German Butterball. And then these are another different variety of Pontiac Red. But we'll take a few of these and go to the garden and I'll show you how I plant these. Along my marker, with this rope as my guide, I've started to dig a trench. My trench is about, I'd say about 8 to 10 inches deep. And it doesn't really matter how wide, you just need to be able to get the potatoes in. But I place my potatoes in, and it really, I mean, you can look at these eyes that are growing and place most of them up. But what I do is I plant them about 1 foot apart, like that, and then I just bury these. I have planted these as shallow as 4 inches, which isn't recommended because if the potato sees the light of day, it will turn green, and that's supposedly poisonous, and you're not supposed to eat green potatoes. So make sure you get them deep enough. But like I said, 6 to 8 to 10 inches is what I've always planted them, and they do just fine. If you have sandier soils, it might be a good idea to go deeper, just so that potatoes do like water, and it would help. The deeper you plant them, the soil would stay more moist at the bottom than at the top. So if it's sandier, maybe you want to go a little deeper. But another way that you can plant potatoes is in a bucket. If you're 1 or 2 people and you don't need a ton of potatoes, you can plant quite a bit in a bucket like this. Some people use a trash can, old trash can, or a big barrel. But you put in several potatoes, and then you cover this with mulch. Cover that with mulch, and then as they grow, you keep adding to it. And then I will show you later on in the year, after they've grown up, I can just dump this bucket out, and then I've got myself instant potatoes. Potatoes are a bunch of work. Potatoes, in general, if you grow them in the garden, they're the hardest thing to plant because you have to dig rows, and then in order to harvest them, you have to do more digging. But I think potatoes are very well worth your time.